Frank and Yeti Show.
And we ready, like, offense, like.
Welcome to week 7 of the Frank and Yeti College Football Show. We got a great set of games this week for you. 4 undefeated teams, and all of these 5 games that we're going over, the teams have winning records. I got my man Yeti here, inspiration of the offense.
Got to keep them moving.
That's it. Last week, it was kind of a rough week for me. I went 2-3. Our guest Brad went 2-3. My man Yeti here went 3-2. That makes me 17 out of 25 games. And my man Yeti catching up 15 out of 25 games.
I got you in my sights.
Yeah.
We're going to the top.
You're rolling. Well, the first game of our football week is 3-2 Louisville at a undefeated 5-0 Wake Forest. Wake Forest at home, and they're a 9-point favorite. Yeti, what do you think about that?
Well, Wake Forest coming in 5-0, but if you dig down deep, who have they beat? Of course, you could say that with anybody, but 5-0. Wake Forest, their big wins. North Carolina, Mac Brown came in, woke that whole team up. I mean, they're doing things that North Carolina hadn't done before. Also beat Boston College. So, that's their big name wins, but they are 5-0. Can't take that away from them. Louisville coming in at 3-2. They're big losses. 2 is a bad number, but with the loss side. But you got to look at, they lost to Notre Dame. They lost to a questionable Florida State. Florida State should be a powerhouse, but man, they just kind of fallen off the tracks. But this should be a good game. Yes, there's a 9-point spread there going into Wake Forest. It's a 6:30 game p.m. So kind of get into that night game. So I think you'll see a good game here. But I'm going to put my money on Wake Forest.
That sounds like a good bet. When a team like Wake Forest, when it's this late in the season, and we're talking about week 7, and we're talking about Wake Forest is 5-0. When you let that sink in, you got to try to figure out what is so different about this Wake Forest team that is different from previous Wake Forest teams that by now would have had probably a losing record, or at least a around 500 record. And when you do that, you find quarterback Jamie Newman, 1,521 yards passing, 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on the year. He leads the ACC in passing yardage. So this is a top passing offense in the ACC. Yes, better than Clemson. And he has 2 targets, 6'3", 215 pounds, Sage Surratt, and 6'5", 225 pound, Scotty Washington. There's of the top 3, these 2 guys are in the top 3 in the ACC in receiving. It is the top ACC tandem at the wide receiver position. And you can see why that is. We're talking about a 6'3", 215 pound receiver and a 6'5", 225 pound receiver, when a tall corner will really only go at about 6'1" and maybe 200 pounds. So these guys are fast, they're athletic, they can out-rebound a corner for a football easily. These guys are magical to watch play. Surratt has 34 receptions so far this year, 515 yards and 6 touchdowns. That is the most yards for any receiver this year in the ACC. Scotty Washington, 27 receptions, 470 yards and 6 touchdowns, and that is 6 touchdowns is tied with his co-worker there, if you will, for the tops in the ACC. So this receiving core, it's excellent. It's the best the ACC has. It's what's giving them an edge in all these football games. We're talking about a Louisville team that's not even in the top 50 in pass defense. I see the mismatch here. I don't see how Louisville can keep up with this type of passing attack. Also, Jamie Newman, he will get it done on the ground as well. So I'm with Wake Forest actually big in this game.
Apparently so.
Actually,
you have dissected that team. You laid it out, but you brought life into a team that, yes, 5-0, in the top 25, but are they getting recognized? It's one of those teams that they're going to have to put it up and put it up big. So
right.
Over and under in this game, 64.5 points. With Wake Forest record themselves, I see it. I see them throwing 45 plus, and Louisville putting some points on the board, so I'll go with the over in that one at 64.5.
All right. 3-2, Washington State. I know you love to watch
I
them
like
play.
the Cougars.
At Arizona State, 4-1. You know I like West Coast ball. I know you like watching Washington State play. Tell me a little bit about this game here.
Well, you 3-2 Washington State versus Arizona State, 4-1. Only a 1 point difference in this game so far. Well, that's predicted at 1 point. Funny thing is, you got Washington playing Arizona this weekend, so both states clash on both ends. 2:30, good afternoon game. Get your yard work done in the morning. Come on in and watch a little football in the afternoon. You got two teams that are very evenly matched. I mean, if you look at the numbers, it's right down the line. They put 1 point up there just to kind of keep it from being a zero. Usually you get 3 points for being at home. Arizona State only representing with the one. So it's going to be a close matchup. I'm going Washington State. I feel like it's time for the Cougs to come on out. Take one.
I knew you were going to do that.
Both of them leave with an even record.
You know, as mentioned, Arizona State is at home, and they got one loss on the season. It's to Colorado, and it was at home there in Arizona. I don't know how Colorado did it, but that atmosphere is electric. Other than, I would have to put it up there with the Farm there in Stanford. Those two atmospheres, as far as the West Coast goes, those two atmospheres to me are always the most intense. So Colorado was able to beat them at home. They're not a team that lose at home very often. I like them here at home, and I also like them because their defense is third in the Pac-12, and that defense is so physical, so fast. They come after the quarterback. They're really good against the pass and the run. They defeated Michigan State in Lansing, and when you talk about Michigan State, that's a big, physical, kind of bruising team. A lot of people saw Michigan State, winning that game just off of pure physicality, but the West Coast team showed to be a lot more physical in that contest. So I like the home field advantage. I like defense. I think they go hand in hand, especially spelling a recipe for winning. So my team in this game is Arizona State.
Good. Like I say, it's going to be close either way. Over and under in this one's 57. I mean, you look at the points scored by both teams. I see 57 not being a problem. We'll see 60 plus. So I'm going over in this one at 57 points. Shouldn't be a problem.
This next game, we got a top 10 matchup here. We got some teams this year in 6-0 Florida and 5-0 LSU that to a lot of people have overachieved. LSU is at home in this game. They're a 13-point favorite. Yeti, tell us something about both of these programs.
You should come out every week in a Bahama shirt as Florida as you are. The Florida Franks. They changed their mascot from the Gators to the Franks. Anyway, not to say Felipe Franks because he's out. I learned that. Anyway, Florida is a team that I underestimated against Auburn. They came out and from the very first play gave Auburn more than they were ready for. Auburn did not prepare for that game because they saw, like you said, the Florida that shows enough Florida to get by. Mm-hmm. And when it came down to the P's and Q's, Florida brought both. They put it on Auburn. Will they do it when they get to Baton Rouge? That's a different atmosphere. The atmosphere there, I would say, by far, 12th and 13th man on the field. It's going to be LSU's favor because it'll be a night game the way they like it. It's a 7 p.m. game. That 13-point spread, though, scares. I feel like LSU's got the offense to do it, to put the points on the board. I don't know that their defense, the defense has got to come to life. Anybody, well, I won't say anybody, but it's in this caliber in the SEC that we'll be watching, points are going to be scored. Mm-hmm. But you've got to stop Florida from scoring points. That quarterback that Florida has, I mean, Kyle Trask, I knew I'd screw it up. But anyway, Trask came in and played like a man. I mean, far from a backup quarterback. I'd say definitely earned that spot. Took a nasty lick in the knee and wanted to take 2 plays off and come back. I don't even know if they want to take 2 off. I think he'd have been happy with 1, but they did the right thing by holding him out through halftime, kind of assess the situation, put a knee brace on, pull him back together. I've heard that a knee strain or,
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not enough to hold him back. This kid has earned his spot, so you'll see him on the field Saturday. It's going to be a brutal game. I don't see 13-point spread. I've got LSU winning this one, but everybody that's asked, I'll say Florida, LSU by 3. I'm feeling an 18-21 game, Tigers, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm going down. So
Excellent. LSU tops in offense in the SEC. Florida, unparalleled defensive statistic nationally. We have a Florida defense nationally. Number 5 points allowed. Number 16 in rush defense nationally. Number 1 in interceptions nationally. Number 1 red zone defense. Number 3 in takeaways. And in this game, Jabari Zuniga will be back. He was last year's sack leader and has missed several games this year. He didn't play against Auburn. So Jonathan Grenard will have his counterpart on the other end, Zuniga. LSU's going to drop back. Majority of this game. They have the top scoring offense. They have the top passing offense in the SEC. Florida's going to pin their ears back, and they're going to go back there and get the quarterback. Florida, Kyle Trask has played well in his position, come in and kind of help Florida out offensively with the injury to Franks. 881 passing yards, 7 touchdowns. He's going to play well in this game. But the main thing here that people need to take from this is definitely an offense versus defense matchup in this game. Again, Florida's on the road. There's 2 ranked difference in these teams. The last time I checked, LSU's ranked number 5. Florida's ranked number 7. It's another one of them games. I don't understand the spread. Florida is a 13.5-point underdog. This similar thing was done with the Notre Dame and Georgia game. We had teams that were literally ranked right there together. And Notre Dame was at Georgia, and they had a big point spread. And I said then, I don't know where they got that from. Georgia's not that much better than Notre Dame. And the game ended up being very close. Georgia just barely made it out of the game. Florida's not losing by 13 points to LSU if they lose. Me personally, I think Florida's defense is too good. Todd Grantham, a.k.a. Dr. Pressure, is going to be sending the defense in there after the quarterback. A lot of different blitz packages. So I'm rolling with Florida in this game. The defense always wins. Hey, defense wins championships.
It's going to be a tight game. 13 is a ridiculous number. I was listening to a coworker talk. I mean, you think about people that are putting money on this game that are able to tease points. Bump that number up a little bit and go with Florida because you can't lose. Whether Florida wins or loses, and you got that many points, you're gonna take on the money. 56 is the over and under on that. I don't see it happening. Like you say, it's going to be a defensive game. There's going to be some balls thrown, but the problem is who comes down with them. Florida can't turn the ball over like they did with Auburn. Just like you said, their defense took that game.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Both teams played as well as could. I mean, it was a true football game. It was not an air show. It was not a tennis match. It was not a basketball game. It was a low-score game. It was, you heard pads popping every time. So I feel the game is going to be worth watching. Shut down the TV. Do you cooking early? 7 o'clock, be in front of that TV ready to catch this game. I'm going under on 56. I don't see it.
I like that. Now, a little Mountain West action. 4-1 Wyoming at 4-1 San Diego State. Hey, I love Mountain West football. It's exciting.
Has been proven.
And I don't miss Mountain West games. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but when a Mountain West game is on here, I get it right. I'm just saying. I watch them enough to know exactly what is going on over there. Anyway, 4-1 Wyoming at 4-1 San Diego State. San Diego State is at home, 5.5-point favorite. Yeti,
Mountain West. This is definitely your forte. I am not up on my Mountain West football. Every week you send me a list of games, and I am not surprised by the least of them. I have to do some homework on this one. I have to kind of know what I'm doing there. I look at numbers. I go in, I look at everybody else's take on it. I definitely just look at it and shoot from the hip on it. I like Wyoming on this game. I mean, both of them, like you say, 4-1. San Diego State's got the home field advantage. Got a little bit of a point spread there at 5.5. It's a late game. For me, it'll be late, 9:30. I'll still be in Baton Rouge, so they probably won't change the LSU Florida, the end of it, to watch Wyoming versus San Diego State. So
as soon as Florida beats LSU, I'll be watching this.
Oh, okay, shot. Probably have multiple TVs set up just so you can watch the Mountain West TV. Probably got it set on Mountain West time. I'm going Wyoming in this one. You've got to take a chance. Somebody's winning, somebody's losing. There you go.
That's it. Yeah. Again, this is an excellent ball game. You know, 2 4-1 teams. They have both beaten Power 5 conference teams. San Diego State beat UCLA. You know what UCLA did to Washington State, and the most points scored in a college football game. And San Diego State was able to hold that UCLA team to like literally no points and win that game. And you know Wyoming beat a very good Missouri team. First game of the year, Missouri has not lost since. So these are the type of teams we're talking about. I mean, they can match up with most of the teams in the country. They're playing each other. It's going to be a heck of a contest. I like San Diego State in this game because you're about to notice a pattern with me, especially this week. I like home field advantage. I like defense, but I definitely like defense more so than anything. I like the combination of San Diego State being at home. I like the fact that San Diego State, they only got one loss. They lost to Utah State, a very good Utah State team. That Utah State team beat them 23-17. That is the only team to score 20-plus points on San Diego State. So the defense is excellent. Again, they're physical, they're fast, and they great on the back end covering the pass. They close down on the run with a lot of speed. I like defense. I like them being at home against Wyoming. I like San Diego State in this game.
Well, there you go. Like I say, you dig into it. You love it. You watch it. I am a passerby in a game like this. To me, that's nap time. By 9:30 at night, that is shutter down time. Anyway, over and under 36 points on that one. Like you said, you don't score a lot of points either way. So I'm going to go with the under on that one, and we'll see how that turns out.
Game of the week, Texas versus Oklahoma, neutral site, Red River shootout in Dallas. Texas is, what is Texas in this game? I know they're underdog. Texas is a 10.5 point underdog to Oklahoma. Jalen Hurts, Lincoln Riley at the helm coaching. What we got?
You have a good Texas team playing a superior Oklahoma team. Just like you said, Coach Lincoln Riley is going to coach them beyond. And then you've got Jalen Hurts that is back at a new station that has not played this game before with this kind of rivalry with Texas and Oklahoma, but has everything in the world to prove. I was talking to a guy yesterday telling him Jalen Hurts is going to do everything he can to see a matchup between Oklahoma and Alabama when it comes into that playoff.
He's hungry.
Whether it's in that top four or on the big stage, he's going to do everything he can to carry the Sooners to that title, to show that he was capable of at Alabama. Now, granted, a bigger name and a stronger arm came in, and he did the right thing by not showing out when he got kind of put in the back seat. But, well, we'll just say passenger seat. We won't say back seat, because he came out and he did what he needed to do when it came time to win. So I am taking Oklahoma in this one because you're going to see a dominant Oklahoma versus a hoping to keep up Texas. And the big winner in this game is Dallas, because all the money's headed in there.
That's it. I like Oklahoma because I like Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley has a 29-4 record since taking over for the University of Oklahoma in 2017. And his offenses have averaged a 47.6 points a game, which is top in that 2.5 year time period. Nobody has scored that average per game. So we got a coach here that was Bob Stoops' offensive coordinator. Bob Stoops retired. He took over. Lincoln Riley took over, and the bus had to stop rolling. We got a team that showed up in the playoffs last year. I mean, 2 different quarterbacks in his first 2 years of coaching, 2 Heisman trophies,
That's
and
right.
Baker Mayfield and Murray. Jalen Hurts probably be the third. I feel like it's so far a 2-man Heisman race. Fields at Ohio State. Jalen is probably right there with Fields. Nobody else is close. I know people are going to hate me saying that, but those are your top 2 quarterbacks in the country. Is it Lincoln Riley, his development of these quarterbacks, their transfers from other schools? He get them there and turn these guys into absolute warriors. They're warriors anyway.
Right, already good.
But he installs a system, and the system works to perfection. Oklahoma got better pieces in Texas. They got Jalen Hurts. They got Lincoln Riley. So I like Lincoln Riley in this game against in Oklahoma against Texas.
Definitely good. You're going to be over and under on those 73.5.
That's big.
A lot of points.
They like points.
A lot of points. Oklahoma will score a lot of points. I feel like Texas is going to score some points. Definitely not. I wouldn't say a lot. I honestly, I've got it written right here on my book. Oklahoma by 18.
Okay.
You said you didn't see it.
I don't see that.
I see it. I feel like it's going to be 18 plus. So over and under. I'm going under on the 73, even though it'll be a lot of points. I still feel like it. Oklahoma will be 40, Texas probably 20, and but still short of that 73.5.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's my man Yeti giving the last breakdown of these 5 games that we got. Thank you so much for watching our show. Be sure to check out This Week of College Football. This is going to be one of the better weeks yet. And look forward to seeing you on our next show.
It's only getting bigger.
It's only getting bigger. You guys have a good one.